Hey there, guys and gals. Welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. My name is Luke. And folks, it is time for an overnight adventure. Now, as you all can see, a number of inches have already fallen. I'd say we have roughly 7 or 8 inches on the ground right now. It is one of those beautiful snows where it has stuck to literally everything. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now, while the snow has stopped falling for now, it is scheduled to return later tonight. That's the forecast. Right now, it's roughly 28 degrees. It's not too cold. But tonight, it will be dipping down to around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. That's fairly chilly. Now, the winds are supposed to kick up to 45 miles an hour, so that's pretty intense. With the heavy snow on these trees, that could make for a dangerous situation. Unfortunately, there is no way to get out in the open because there is no open. This is nothing but the forest, so it is what it is. Now, as you guys can see, I'm walking around, I'm looking for placement. There's a few level spots. Everything's surrounded by trees. This area over here, it's not too bad. Everything looks pretty strong up above. Yeah, let's keep walking around. Let's see what we can find. Now, unfortunately, I have a very large 4-season tent with me, strong enough to handle the snow, strong enough to handle the winds, but it's big. It needs a big space. So that really does limit my choices. Now, this area through here isn't bad at all. This is fairly flat right here. The trees up above look pretty strong. There's also a lot of material here for a fire later on. Now, the one thing I don't like about this area is all of this fallen debris here. I mean, there's a lot of it. And that tells me that the forest isn't very healthy. Maybe the trees are old, maybe they've been infested, but for whatever reason, they're definitely weak. So I want to stay out of this part. Let's head further down on the mountain here. So as you can see there, the winds are already starting to pick up a little bit. I need to get my tent up before it gets too bad. Oh, snap. Woo. Yeah. That's what I was worried about. I have to be honest, that feels pretty good. I will try my best not to destroy this camera. Heading off of this ridge, down into the valley, let's see what we can find. Gosh, this is slick. Having to go down basically sideways to keep traction. This is not bad at all. I think this will make a really good spot. The first thing that I'm going to do is stomp down the snow, make it a little bit more flat, then I will put up my tent. I'll tell you what, everybody, I am so glad that we received this snow. I have been waiting for this. So far, this winter is off to an awesome start. So we had 6, 7, 8 inches of snow last night. We're supposed to get maybe 3 inches of snow tonight. Let's see, following day, another snowstorm. By the end of the week, another snowstorm. So lots of snow adventures are coming up. Woo! Oh my gosh. Big wads of snow down the back of my jacket into my shirt. That's not pleasant. Now this is a true 4-season tent. So you could see here how this is different than, say, a 3-season tent. With a 3-season tent, the body would be all mesh. This is not. This is a water-resistant, air-blocking material. So it does block the wind, it does block the moisture somewhat. It is not windproof, it is not waterproof, just resistant. Once this is sealed up, it will also contain a lot of warmth. Ah, yes. So the tent has been set up. She is ready to go. Now, I like this tent a lot, but unfortunately, it is not easy to put up. This probably took maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. If you were hiking along and a storm just popped up, this would not be the tent that you would want with you, unfortunately. Now, this is my 3rd time setting it up, so I do know how it goes together, and it still took that long. There's a lot to it. You have to stake it out, poles, attach the fly, stake that out, and all that good stuff. It definitely takes a while. There are faster tents out there. But so far with my testing, 100% waterproof and very, very stable. You guys can hear the winds now. Thank God for this tent. Yes, fully protected, just in time, just in time. That takes quite a bit of stress off of me because I was worried about that. Let me get the rest of our gear. Okay. Whew. Now luckily the vestibule is big enough here for my pack, so I could leave it outside if I want to, or I can bring it in. Doesn't really matter. Since it's just me, I have plenty of space. This is my clothing bag here, food bag here. This is my quilt here. Now, just in case you're wondering what my gear loadout is for this trip, check the description box down below. I have everything listed for you. With this quilt, this is from UGQ Outdoor Equipment. I have been testing this out for a while. Since this is a quilt, it doesn't have a back to it, and that's why I'm relying on my sleeping pad to reflect back some heat. Now, this sleeping bag does come with these elastic strings right here, so you can attach it to the opening in the back and pull it nice and tight around you. And I am going to do that. I can actually put this around the sleeping pad so it doesn't scoot around, which is pretty cool. So check this out, everyone. The quilt is attached to the pad. I simply just slide right on in when I'm ready for bed, and I will be staying toasty warm tonight. Once I get everything set up here, I'm going to begin working on a fire. Hopefully I can find enough material to get the fire going. Everything is coated in snow and ice now. One final thing inside of my backpack is this right here, a little adult beverage for later. Oh yeah, those temperatures are definitely dropping, but hey, at least the sun is popping out here for just a minute, and it is beautiful. Now, before I go any further and collect wood for our fire tonight, I'm starving. It's time for a snack. It's already getting late into the day, so I'm going to skip lunch and have a big dinner. I can't wait. I cannot believe that the sun is out right now. That's a bad sign. That is a bad sign. Having that clear sky allows the temperatures to drop even lower. Oh boy. So far, everything has gone pretty darn smoothly. Setting up the tent was a chore, and that's all right. That's how it goes. Most 4-season tents are not very easy and quick to set up. There are a few, right? There are some exceptions, but most of them are not. Trail mix time. The next course of action is to collect firewood. Tonight, as the sun is going down, I want to build a nice warm fire, sit around it, eat my dinner. That is going to be nice. Okay, so tonight, snow showers likely mainly between 10 p.m. and 1. Low around 10. Winds 15 to 25 miles an hour with gusts up to 50. That sounds pretty good to me. Whoo! Here it comes. That breeze is freezing cold. Alright, let's gather some firewood. Alright, so as you can see here, I have a pretty good pile of firewood. That won't last me but an hour or two, and that's exactly what I need. Temperatures are dropping fast. It's getting really cold. I think it's time to put on another layer. Now, luckily, the temperatures are dropping to the point where this is becoming a dry snow instead of a wet snow. You know, when I first got out, every bit of snow that fell would just melt. Now it's just bouncing off. That's pretty awesome, especially for later on when it gets really, really cold. I don't want to be soaking wet. Down jacket, some nice warm gloves. Brr. Oh yeah, that is so much better. A special thank you must go out to Eric for this jacket. Buddy, I appreciate it greatly. Thank you for keeping me warm on this adventure. Also, a big thank you goes out to Texas Good Gloves for the gloves. Ah, yeah. That is so much better. I'm going to get a small fire going. It's coffee time. Now, as you guys can see here, I am building a snow wall. The winds seem to be coming in this direction, and this is going to block them out somewhat. I don't have a whole lot of firewood, so I need to make every little bit of it count, and maximizing its effectiveness by blocking out the wind is a smart thing to do. So as you can see here, my wall has been built. It is ready to block out the wind. Now, snow is an amazing resource. While it can be deadly, it can also be life-saving if you know how to use it. For one, it's water. 10% water in most cases. You can use it to keep you warm. You can use it to build things, such as this wall here. So it is coffee time now. I have my wood, my wall, my small stuff. Now for this, I'll just use snow. I'll melt some. That does take a while, but I was able to collect quite a bit of small stuff, so I should be in pretty good shape. Now that feels so good. That feels awesome. Now you guys can see there that my snow wall is doing a fantastic job. The winds are blowing pretty good right now. Perfect. Okay, now it's time to introduce our pot with the snow in it. I don't want to stick this directly on top of the fire because that will just scorch my pot. I want to sit this next to the fire so that some of the snow begins to melt. Once I have a good base of water down here, the melting process is much, much easier. Now I have enough water in my cup to boil it. For this trip, we have some funky Folgers. It too puts hair on your face just like Taster's Nasty does. That looks awfully hot, doesn't it? I think I'll sit this in the snow for a minute. Do you guys have any idea what I'm doing over here? Keep watching. If you said I was making a place to sit, you would be absolutely right. A nice dry place to sit against the tree here. Life is pretty darn good. Cheers. Oh man. Guys, that is fantastic. That is fantastic. I might as well see if you guys have any questions on Facebook here. In most overnight adventures, I like to answer roughly 5 minutes worth of questions for you all. It's a great way to interact. It's a lot of fun. So if you haven't liked my Facebook page, you will find a link in the description box down below. A nice good warm fire. A nice warm fire. Some coffee. A beef stick. Oh yeah. That doesn't sound bad, does it? Well, it is getting on into the afternoon now. In roughly 2 hours, it will be dark. Around then, we will have dinner. I can't wait. That's good. I'm going to kick back, watch the sunset, drink my coffee, eat my beef stick. I'll bring you all back later. Well, some time has passed. I've been kicking it inside of the tent here, just relaxing a little bit, collecting some more firewood and stuff like that. It's unbelievable, but the winds have completely subsided. I mean, there's just the slightest of breeze in the air, and that's it. I would love to be able to get the fire going, enjoy that, have dinner, enjoy that, and then get inside and have the nasty weather come in. That would be choice. The sunset is upon us now. We have some dark clouds also coming in. More snow is on the way. The temperatures are dropping. Right now it's roughly 20 degrees, something like that. It's pretty cold. Alright guys, I want to take a second here to talk about my clothing. So if you want to go out for a wintertime adventure, you can do the same. Now with this loadout here, this clothing loadout, I have my insulating layers on the inside. I have my puffer jacket. I have my merino wool pullover. Now this layer here, my puffer jacket, is very fragile. The materials are very thin, they're not very strong. You can easily tear it and you can easily burn a hole in it. That is why I have this layer here to protect that one. This one retains some heat, it blocks some wind, and it is very, very tough. This jacket here is from Fjallraven, and I like this thing a lot. I picked this up on eBay for like 50 bucks. If you were to buy this brand new, I believe it's like $200. I'm not really sure. But it's very expensive because it is Fjallraven. The material for this jacket is a blend. It's a mixture of cotton and polyester. Now typically you wouldn't want to go out with cotton, but since this is a blend, it handles moisture very, very well. If it gets wet, because of the polyester, it wicks it away. It's very, very strong, very, very burly. It doesn't tear. I mean, it's not going to rip easy. You're not going to burn a hole in this easily either. When it comes to my pants here, as you can see, they are blue, and I happen to like them a lot. These are also Fjallraven. Picked them up on eBay for like 70 bucks, something like that. These absolutely rock. They're the same material here as the jacket, the G1000. Polyester cotton blend, very strong, doesn't tear, doesn't rip, can't burn a hole in it easily. Now, just in case you're not familiar with these are gaiters. And these keep the snow out from your pants and from getting into your shoes. Keeps you nice and dry. Merino wool socks. I have some waterproof boots. They are non-insulated. I do not care for insulated boots unless I'm like in a ridiculously cold climate. Tonight, down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not that bad. Now I'm going to take some time and process my wood here. Get everything broken into smaller pieces so I can just simply take it, put it right onto the fire. It's getting cold enough now and late enough where I'm ready for the fire. The clouds are rolling in, the sky is getting dark. Snow is on the way. And if snow's on the way, that means that strong winds are too. When it comes to breaking up your firewood, there are many ways to go about it. Personally, I like to use my knee and break. Some people don't like doing that, but it's always worked well for me. I mean, you're not breaking pieces that are so big that you're going to hurt yourself. Some people like to set their pieces of wood up against a tree and then break it just like so. That is a fantastic way to have a piece of wood come back and hit you in the face. If you're going to do that, be very, very careful. You can, of course, take your piece of wood, set it down on the ground, break like so. That works great for the bigger pieces. The pieces which you can't break over your knee. With enough experience, you will be able to know exactly where to break your pieces of wood at, so it doesn't come back and hit you in the face. It's one of those things where you simply have to get out and do it. Now you may be wondering why I didn't bring an axe or a saw, and namely that's because I knew that I would find a lot of little stuff, and I also knew that I wouldn't be spending too much time around my fire. If I had a group of people with me and we were going to sit around a fire for hours at a time, I definitely would have brought my hatchet. I would have brought a saw. That way I could have taken care of some bigger trees. Yeah. Whew. Looks like those winds are picking up again. Oh yeah. Another benefit to having clothing with such rough, tough materials is that you can use them and abuse them while you're out on your trip. I mean, I could work with all of this material here. I can bust this up any way that I want to, and I don't have to worry about tearing a hole in it. That's very important. Not all materials are this strong. Now folks, one more tip before I get the fire going, and that is in regards to important items which you are carrying on your body. When you are in an outdoor environment such as this, if you drop something on the ground, it is practically gone. You may get lucky and find it, but for the most part you will not. So, if you have something important in your pockets which you want to keep track of and you do not want to lose, I do not recommend that you put them in open pockets like this here. If you have zippered pockets, those are the very best. Something like this here, nice zippered pocket. Whatever you put inside of here, it's staying inside of there. Now that is a fire, and as you can tell, the winds have really picked up. They're just kind of circulating all over the place. Now, if it gets really, really windy, I will put this fire out. I do not want to melt a hole in that tent, so I have to be very, very careful. Anytime that you're having a fire close to your tent, you really need to be mindful of where the embers are, the direction that the wind is blowing everything. Folks, this feels absolutely amazing. Because of the wind, this fire is a little bit chaotic. There's not a right place to sit because it's just kind of a whirlwind, really. Tonight, I have Mountain House, and it is an Italian-style pepper steak with rice and tomatoes. Some people like to cook over a fire. For me, I like simplicity. I don't like having to do dishes. Yeah, I'm not huge on doing dishes. That's why I like bag meals. It's a personal preference. Some people love to cook over a fire, and that's great. Now, I am building a platform to put my cup on. There we go. It's so cold that the water in my cup has started freezing over already. Ah, guys. Sit here holding my bag next to my fire. There's a little bit of snow spitting in the air right now. I couldn't imagine a better way to spend my evening. With you guys, some good food, warm fire, cold air and snow. Yeah, that's not bad, not bad. Instead of doing story time tonight, I will go ahead and answer roughly 5 minutes worth of questions for you all. Then I'm going to eat my dinner. I am sure that you guys have some questions for me. Oh yes, lots and lots of questions. Dwayne wants to know, do I prefer camping in the snow, rain, or clear skies? I love snow. Always have. It's that inner wolf that's drawn to it. Okay, Michael wants to know if I've had any odd experiences with the Brown Mountain lights, and I have not. I've been out there a couple hundred times, and I've never seen them. Alex wants to know, have I hiked the Profile Trail on Grandfather Mountain? If so, would I recommend it? Absolutely, yes. It is amazing. It's a beautiful trail. It's pretty strenuous. There's lots of ladders. You'll love it. Clyde wants to know, do I still drink Taster's Nasty? Oh yeah. Richard wants to know, what is the best stove, gas burner, that I would recommend for an area where there's a burn ban in place? You know, there's plenty of options out there. I have to say that my favorite stove is the MSR Rocket Rocket 2. I mean, it's just fantastic. It's lightweight, works great. The price isn't terrible. You really can't go wrong with it. Zach wants to know, have I ever used Canadian military surplus gear? Not that I know of. Right off the top of my head, I'm going to say no. What do you recommend? Randy wants to know, what is my favorite cold weather sock? A heavyweight merino wool sock from Smart Wool, something along those lines, will treat you right. When you go out, make sure that you have multiple pairs. I have a pair inside of the tent, which I'm going to put on when I get inside of the tent tonight. I'm going to take some hand warmers, I'm going to put them in my socks, put my socks on. Toasty warm feet all night long, dry as well. The socks that I have on right now, they are wet. They're moist with sweat and so on. So I don't want to wear those tonight. It'll make me cold. Adam wants to know, what is my favorite wild drink? Pine needle tea is probably my favorite. Have I ever hiked in Tennessee, the Smoky Mountains? Absolutely. Ozone Falls, I don't know of that. I'll have to look that up. Thanks, Justin. Richard wants to know if anybody ever sends me video equipment, camera equipment to review, and no. Ray wants to know what my favorite talk show is. I really like Coast to Coast with George Norrie. It's not too bad. Tony's question is this: would you prefer to cook over a fire or a stove? Fire all the way. When it's snowy like this, you have to have a fire. I mean, it feels right. You know what I mean? JD wants to know if I've ever considered hiking in the Laurel Highlands hiking trail in Pennsylvania. I haven't, but I will look into it. I've been looking into a cool place to go backpacking. One trip that I have planned for this winter is to head down to the coast and do a coastal winter backpacking trip. Garrett wants to know, what are the 3 most important tips, tricks, do's, and don'ts for snow camping? Well, being put right on the spot, I don't know exactly what the 3 main ones are, but I can tell you that it's important to stay dry, it's important to protect your gear, and remember to wear nice, clean, warm socks. I don't know. That's just what comes to mind at the moment. Tony says that he has a package. He wants to send me some goodies. Go to the website. Go to the Contact Us page. There's an address for you. What is your method of lighting a fire in the snow? A lighter works just fine. I can use a ferro rod. I can use just about anything. I can rub 2 sticks together. By the way, guys, it is snowing right now. Patrick wants to know, what is my go-to knife? And what do I look for when I'm picking out a knife? Well, it really depends on the type of knife that I'm going for, because not every knife fits every situation. 99% of the time, a good old-fashioned pocket knife will serve me the best. It's kind of a jack of all trades. I can do a little bit of everything. It's good at everything. It's not a master of anything, right? Colin wants me to give a howl, and I will certainly do that. What detergents do I use to maintain my gear? I would say for almost all of my gear, I do not use any detergents at all. Very rarely do I ever wash my gear. I'm able to get away with that because I take exceptional care of my gear. I make sure not to get them dirty. You know, with my tent, I use a ground sheet so the fly is not muddy or anything like that. You know, with my clothing, for the most part, you can wash it. There are a few items which I will not throw into the dryer, you know, stuff like that. But for the most part, water is your best friend. Most detergents are too harsh to use on your outdoor gear. Fred says that he's homesick for Western North Carolina. Buddy, come on back. We miss you. Laura wants to know, do I ever have hot cocoa? No, not really. Andrew wants to know, how is Lucas? He is doing great. He is doing amazingly well. You guys know that he plays the piano. Well, he has been teaching himself how to play the guitar, and he is incredibly good at it. It's an electric guitar. I tell you what, that guy's gonna be a serious stud monkey. When you can play the guitar, the girls love you. Armando wants to know, what is the most essential piece of gear for winter camping? And you know, there's not just one thing. I mean, it really is an entire system that you need. You need a tent that can handle everything that you're going to throw at it. You need a sleeping bag that can go way below the forecasted temperatures that you're going into. Just because a sleeping bag says that it's good down to 0 doesn't mean that it really is, you know? You want to stay super warm. You don't want to just make it through the night. You need a good sleeping pad as well. Thomas says that he needs to get me down to Southwest Florida for some swamp camping. Man, oh man, it's been a long time since I've been in the swamp. I used to live down in Florida, used to play in the Everglades. I know all about crocs, snakes, and so on. Have I ever had to abandon a winter camp? Yes, I have. There was this one time I went out with a hammock setup, and the snowstorm turned into more of a blizzard than anything else. And like, it was just almost a complete failure. It was awful. The equipment that I had with me wasn't strong enough to handle it. The sleeping bag and the quilt were not warm enough to sustain me. So I absolutely froze to death. I ended up just calling it quits, packed everything up, and headed off. Thank you all so much for the questions. I do appreciate it. I've sat here for so long that my food's pretty much gotten cold. You might be able to see it, but it is snowing. It is snowing again. Oh, man. To be honest, I'm almost out of firewood. It has burned up that fast. With the winds blowing like this, I mean, it's just going through it like that. My dinner is awesome. You guys are welcome to come join me and have some. Oh, shoot. Folks, I'll be right back. I forgot something. I almost forgot about my adult beverage. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Ooh. Whew. Oh, that feels good going down. Nice and hot. Oh, man. That makes you want to howl. I'm excited to see what we're in store for the rest of the night. You know, just how windy is it going to get? How much snow are we going to get? I love that it's snowing. I love it. Now everyone, I want to wish you all a wonderful Christmas. Yes, I have waited on this video to put it up on Christmas for you guys. I want you all to have a wonderful time with your friends, your family, eat some good food. I want you all to know that I appreciate you guys very, very much. Alright everyone, well, I'm going to finish up my dinner. I may bring you all back before I turn in for the night. We'll have a little bit more adult beverage. We'll wait and see what the night has in store for us. I'm done with dinner. Enjoying the last bit of the firewood. That's it. I'm 100% out. Cheers, everyone. Cheers. Woohoo! So, as it stands now, I'm pretty much done for the evening. I wish I had more firewood. I would sit around the fire here, but that's impossible. I grabbed all of the firewood which I could easily get around here, and we have burned through all of it in an hour or so. Well, I guess I do have my seat over here. I guess I could actually burn that. Probably will. I'm going to sit around the fire, just enjoy it. I will bring you all back when I'm turning in for the night. Whew, it is snowing now. It is really, really coming down. It is snowing pretty darn hard. As you can see, I'm covered. I'll go ahead and open this up, show you all what it looks like out there. Here you go. I mean, it's just coming down. Yep. pop our head out for 1 second. All right. It started snowing really hard about 15 minutes ago. It's dropped about an inch. Check that out. As you can see there, the tent is getting covered, getting snowed in. And that's exactly how we like it, isn't it? Oh man. It is absolutely gorgeous right now, it really is. Well, pretty much time for bed. There's nothing to do here. All my firewood has been burned. Luckily it's cold enough where this really isn't melting. It's just laying everywhere. Right now it's not too windy. I'm sure that will change later on. They're calling for gusts up to 50 miles an hour now. Yeehaw. Let's go back inside of the tent now. I've got to get all my clothing off before I get inside because I don't want to soak everything. Of course, that is easier said than done. Having lighting, which is easy to use, is very important. Gosh, it is coming down. I mean, like really, really coming down. It's already begun sliding off of the tent as well. I love a good winter storm, everyone. And this one has turned out to be a really, really good one. I'm most pleased. One final tip is to take your pants, whatever clothes that you're going to put on in the morning, put them inside of your quilt, inside of your sleeping bag, keep them warm. I'm going to use mine as a pillow, my pants here. In the morning, shove them inside, warm them up to 98.6 degrees, be ready to go. I'm going to say good night to you all. I'll bring you guys back if anything crazy happens, or maybe if the winds really, really pick up. We will see how much snow we have in the morning. Sleep tight, everyone. See ya. Good morning, everybody. Whew. Gosh, it is a cold morning. I've been up for maybe maybe half an hour or so. I actually got up, used the bathroom a little while ago. It was a pretty good night, all in all. Before the sun came up, it was super, super windy. The tent was really just getting hit from all angles, but yeah, it was a pretty good night. When I went to bed, it was pouring the snow. And I would say that, I don't know, maybe an hour or two after I filmed that, it just stopped. And it was windy, and I don't know if it really snowed anymore throughout the night or not. I know for certain that there isn't any snow left on the tent because it's all blown away. According to my phone, it is a lovely 12 degrees outside, and it certainly feels it. No doubt. Now, as you all can see, I have my mask on. I like to wear this when I am sleeping. While you're breathing, your body is releasing moisture, and that moisture has the tendency to freeze on your face. It will like lay on your sleeping bag, on your jacket, your clothes, and so on. Makes your face cold and makes everything around you wet. So, you put on your mask, it collects the moisture for you, and it keeps your face nice and warm. The plan is pretty simple. I'm going to chill here in the tent for a little bit, then I'm going to get up and make a cup of coffee. It is coffee time. And pretty much it's time to break everything down and go home. I'm going to grab my gas canister, and I'm going to put this under here as well. Alright, guys, I'll see you in just a minute. Alright, it is now time for some coffee. I'm going to basically use my stove right here in the vestibule since it's so windy outside. Now for this trip, I have my gas canister stove, which is not the best stove in the entire world for cold weather, but I've had it close to my body, staying warm. I even have some hand warmers to keep it warm, so we should be in pretty good shape. It feels good to have gotten out into the first winter storm of the season. I am most pleased, and I'm excited to see what else is to come. You cannot put a price tag on hand warmers. These things are so awesome. Oh, that feels good. Got a vent open here, water going. It is coffee time. Oh yeah, that feels good. This shelter did keep me warm and safe, fully protected from the wind and the snow. It did a great job. It's not easy to set up, it's not easy to break down, it definitely takes some time. So far, I'm very, very impressed. This thing is rock solid. It is rock solid. Coffee time, coffee time. Let's make it a double, shall we? Let's make it extra strong this morning. I'll tell you what, we might as well get out of here and see what the morning has in store for us. What a gorgeous morning. I mean, there's just a touch of snow in the air. That is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Some good hot coffee. You know, for the most part, this adventure is over. And with that being the case, I want to wish you all a wonderful Christmas. I hold my coffee cup up to you all. Thank you guys for your support throughout the year. I hope you guys have an amazing Christmas with your friends and family. Do know that you all are appreciated. You guys are definitely appreciated. If you want to support the channel through Patreon, I do appreciate it, of course. Why don't you comment down below, tell me if you learned anything in this episode, or if you had a good time. On to the next. Everybody take care, strength and honor. I'll see you guys around.